So how do you get the foundation onto the freezer paper so you can start freezer paper piecing? In this 5-minute video, I'm going to walk you through how to transfer your pattern onto the freezer paper so you can start actually freezer paper piecing. Hey there, I'm Rebecca of Bryan House Quilts, and I love freezer paper piecing. It's changed my quilty life. When I discovered freezer paper piecing, I literally heard angels singing. And so it is my mission to tell as many quilters like you all about freezer paper piecing. And one of the main questions I see whenever I talk about freezer paper piecing is how do you get the pattern onto the freezer paper itself so you can start freezer paper piecing. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 2 ways to get your foundation from the paper or the digital pattern onto the freezer paper itself so you can start enjoying freezer paper piecing. Okay, so your first option is to use a roll of freezer paper and transfer the foundation or the pattern onto a sheet of freezer paper. So that's what I'm going to show you first. So I've got a sheet of freezer paper here from the roll. I've got a pen, I've got paper, scissors here, and I've got a ruler, and then I've got a pattern. So this is Gemma. It's one of my patterns, and it has several foundations. So I'm gonna demo one of the foundations here. So let's do page number 9. I'm just gonna put the printed copy underneath my freezer paper. So whenever I transfer my foundations, I like to work in a dot-to-dot fashion. So if you want to make sure that you're not slipping, you can try taping your paper down. So you tape the paper down to your table, maybe you tape the freezer paper. I like to do it really quick so I don't have to worry about things moving. So I'm just going to hold it down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the corners of each. So I'm going to grab the dots. I'm going to grab the dots of each shape, or the dot of the shape overall. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got the dot for the line going through the shape. And then once I have the dot, then really it's all about connecting the dots. So once I have the dot, I can remove this. I don't have to worry about anything shifting, and I'm just going to connect the dots here. So this is where the ruler comes in. So I'm just going to line up my ruler here. I'm just going to connect the dots. It's a connect the dot game for quilters. Okay, so once I have all the dots connected, then the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure I grab all the information from the pattern. So see on the foundation here, I've got the number 1 and 2, and then I've got the pattern name and the foundation name. I want to make sure I grab all of that information because that information is important. So I'm just going to put it here. So 1, 2, then this is the pattern Gemma, and foundation B2 little r. Okay, so this foundation is complete. Now, you might notice that I don't have seam allowances on my foundations. Personally, I don't like to freezer paper piece with seam allowances on my foundations, but if you prefer to use seam allowances with your foundations, then you'll just add in your seam allowances with a ruler. So let me zoom in so you can see what that looks like. So if you're going to add a seam allowance like I just did there, you are going to line up your ruler. You're going to line up the 1/4 inch line on your ruler with that line here, and you're just going to trace that in. Once you're finished with this foundation, you would move on to do the other foundation, and then depending on your pattern, you would finish transferring all your foundations onto the freezer paper, and then you would cut it out and start freezer paper piecing. It's really pretty easy. So just remember, connect the dots and grab all the information on the foundation and put it on your freezer paper foundation. So the second option is super, super easy. If you have a printer and if you have Quilter's freezer paper sheets. All you need to do is load this into your printer and print your foundation onto the freezer paper. So this is a printed sheet of freezer paper. It is from the digital copy of my book, Modern Triangle Quilts. So all I had to do was load up the ebook and print the page I wanted. So really easy. Just make sure that your test square is 1 inch and mine is, so I can go ahead and start freezer paper piecing with this foundation. All right, so that's it. That's all you need to do to transfer your foundations onto freezer paper so that you have your freezer paper foundation ready for you to start freezer paper piecing.